All right. Hello, everyone. I am AlecK47. The game is silent when paused, but I want you to hear this. This is a port. It was rushed. It was released on the same day as Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. And this is a bit of a hint as to the quality. If I do a soft reset here, you will hear the Sega jingle. Licensed by Nintendo. They remembered that it only had one A. So instead of drawing it out like it has multiple A's, they just were like, okay, no, that's wrong. I'm playing in anniversary mode here. Original mode does not have a spin dash. Anniversary mode does. That's the difference. I'm going to get going here pretty quickly, but right off the bat, you'll notice some funky physics and all the lag. So starting off here in Green Hill Act 1, it's relatively simple. There are a couple jumps that may or may not be nice to me, depending on exactly how the slopes, the speed, and subpixels and such work. That was kind of me going for an in-between strat there, which is fine. Doesn't always work. But you can see that... Oh, they both spawned! Wow! I didn't mean to jump that high, because those enemies rarely both spawn. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that they don't consistently spawn, but nothing in this game seems to be consistent. Apparently, I'm told that the game is a little bit loud, so I will talk a little bit loud myself to compensate a bit. Get a little jump here. I did not get the invincibility, but that is okay. That jump was a little bit lower than I thought it should be for some reason. That just sometimes happens in specific places. All right. There. Hopefully the audio balance is a little better now. Anyway, another thing you've probably noticed by now is that the physics don't account for you hitting a wall really well. So as long as you don't hold or press a directional, that is either left or right, you will maintain your momentum. I'm also going to try to jump through a loop there. It did not work, but at least I maintained my momentum. So that wasn't so bad. I got the speed shoes more because it helps with the boss than it helps me go fast, because as you can see, spin dash go burr. Now, this boss is a little bit lower because of the scrunched aspect ratio of the Game Boy Advance version, so I can do a bit of a juggle there. And yeah, there's the boss. You also may have noticed that the boss music was canceled because when the speed juice ran out, it's like, oh, it's got to switch music. Which music do I switch to? Apparently, the invincibility. Because that makes sense. So yeah, not a whole lot interesting except the game being very much itself. With the lovely MIDI soundtrack, all the lag ever. One thing that comes into play here in Marble, I already know I'm not going to get the ideal cycle here because it has to go pretty much perfectly, and there's only so much you can do about that because not everything is really under your control. The way the game treats jumps during lag frames, which happen constantly, is it kind of, as far as I can tell, takes note of where, of when you press it, where that jump should happen, and then kind of back calculates it. There's some things that work well in lag frames, like jumps. There are other things that don't, like things that affect your momentum. I don't know why I went for that. That was very risky. But I made it, so good. Yeah, so I'm going to be occasionally fighting the game a little bit. I already know it, because there'll be a part where my momentum should be canceled, or shouldn't be canceled, and things will happen weirdly. That's just a given. If you have an entire playthrough without that happening somewhere, then it's a miracle. It's not you being good, it's a miracle. But that said, fortunately, the jumps are relatively consistent. And sometimes we take what we can get in these games to make them playable. I actually do find this fun and playable, at least in a speedrun sense. Not so much a casual sense, but because of the spin dash and the fact that you don't have to do any special stages, which are awful in this version, by the way, it ends up quite playable. It's exactly the kind of jank that you love to see as a runner, unless you think it can't be too playable. Because there's a method to the madness of this game's physics. And as you can see, I was willing to risk that jump up there over lava because I know how this game handles. And I was confident enough in my abilities. Oh, I got a lag jump there before I actually got hit. So I jumped during the lag frame and was on and back off of the lava before the game recognized that it should hurt me. That happens sometimes. There are things like that that happen with momentum canceling, and that is less fun when that happens. There are also a couple frame-perfect instances that can just completely cancel your momentum, which is also generally not fun, but now that I know what it is, it's not so hard to avoid. I did not know that until a tasser took a brief look at this game. I'm hoping that some more work can be done on it, because I'm sure there's a lot of lag management that I just have not been able to figure out properly. But speaking of lag management, we're going to come up pretty shortly here on one of the least laggy parts in the game that I always thought would be laggy. So I was trying to reduce lag during this section coming up here, where I'm going to have to ride a platform. And it turns out that even though the lava is there, okay, that caterpillar did not spawn. That's pretty common. You'll see that if I jump short there, there's pretty much no lag. Somehow. There just isn't much loaded. If I go too high or get my camera too high, stuff will load. So on the way back down there, there's a little bit of lag. And now I'm going to get shot up here, do a spin dash jump, and go through this section here. That's the whole reason you ride that platform, because it's how you get up here. Wait a little bit to let that second spike crusher fall down. And now, this is one of the major potential reset points in the game. Right here. There are a couple ways you can handle this, but you kind of have to hope that your jumps and your momentum work right, and that was textbook. That really could not have gone any better. I am very happy to be past that. Now let's see if I can get the juggle. You have to jump basically immediately to get on top of this boss. I might be able to maintain it all the way. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna fall down here and just wait for the boss to come back. Now fortunately, as soon as you kill the boss, any fireballs that it spawns below you despawn, so it's always safe to juggle there even with 0 rings. And as far as zips go, I see that mentioned in chat. Unfortunately, zips are non-existent in this port. I don't know the exact reasons why. They had some version of the source code or the machine code. I'm not sure. There are conflicting rumors. I don't know exactly what to believe, but they had some basis of the game's code. You'll see what happens when I go in walls in a little bit, but it is not a zip. All right, so I was trying to get a fast strat to hopefully get a quick cycle here. That's not going to happen. Oh, stop. So there are very easy crush deaths in the original version of this game, but it actually takes a little bit more to get one of those BS crush deaths, as I like to call them, in this version, which is surprising. There's one reason that it is the best version of the game, along with it having a spin dash that does not consistently lose momentum like the Sonic Origins version, which is based off the mobile port. Or, actually, it's not based... Yeah, it is based off the mobile port. It's... Which one? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going kind of a scripted jumps there. Specific places where I do a full jump to get through that section smoothly. And now we're at the end of the level. The dunk there is made incredibly easy by not losing your momentum and just being able to be in a rolling animation so that Sonic's sprite is smaller. The Spring Yard Act 2 has one of the places that can be really frustrating in casual play. Coming up here, the best way to get through this section is to bounce off this spring. Now, you may have noticed that I went left a little bit there. That's because one of the exceptions to the crush death rule of it not being as bad as the original is right there. If you are kind of pressing up against the thing there as it is moving towards or away. Why did I jump there? I jumped down here. If it's moving towards or away of, you will, the game will just kind of read you as being inside it and crush you. Otherwise, that went really well, other than that one mistake. I should have gotten a sub 30 there, which is excellent. But there are a couple things that don't always happen there, like that crab meat that I bounced off of towards the beginning doesn't always spawn. Okay, gonna jump here, slow down a little bit because it takes a moment for the rings to register. That actually happens in the original too, so you can't blame that on this. And it is very easy to die at full momentum otherwise. So slowing down a little bit there. Now up here, I'm going to go up top. This top path, oh, I missed it, okay. Wait for it, and there we go. So there's a very precise position that I need to get on top of here. That should work. There we go. So I just line up Sonic's feet with specific pixel range in the floor, and all right, I got that signpost there. Sometimes you go over it or even through it without triggering it. And this is just a rather simple way to get through this section. You can go through here, and if the cycle is in the right place and you play it right, it is a little bit faster than getting those speed shoes, especially when you miss a jump like that. But that's far from a given, and the invincibility is really nice. So, depending on where the cycle is here, I'm going to stop, do a spin dash jump off of there, and that'll get me to the boss. This is one of the laggiest areas in the game because all of those objects that I'm standing on are sprites, every single one. So when this many sprites are loaded, the game kinda just can't. As you can see, yeah, it is incredibly slow. Also, the platform sticks out like a pixel, so you can land on it and do a spin dash, even out of that balancing animation, because this game is the way it is. Oh, nice, we actually got the boss to despawn there. That happens sometimes, but not always. Labyrinth. Labyrinth has the most shenanigans out of every single level in the game. So first off, you know you go slow in the water. That's normal in most games with water levels. You slow down. And the way they handled it here is rather simplistic. So they take your speed and they have a modifier. As you can see, that modifier can be abused to just sail over that bit of the level and get to this intended shortcut much quicker than the intended way, where you have to go down and... in the Genesis version, you only have to hit one of the switches down below. In this version, you have to hit both, so it's extra annoying and slow. But because you can use that momentum that you get from leaving the water, you can also pass by the signpost without hitting it there. I'm glad that happened. I got to show that off. You just yeet yourself at ridiculous speed and things work out. This is also one of my favorite skips in any Sonic game at all, because it is just so silly. So springs in this game try hard. And yeah, that put me on the wall, which let me kind of mosey on up into the ceiling, and now I am at the end of the stage. That's all she wrote. Basically, you have to modulate your jump so that you don't get bounced back by the spring, and then land on the ground, and that, for whatever reason, puts you on the wall. And like I said, no zips in walls in this version. That's what happens. If you're not able to move vertically, then you're usually kind of stuck. You might be able to jump out if there's an open area above you. That's about it. Also, you can jump over this wall here. Once you get to the spin dash section, it's a little bit inconsistent, but that worked out pretty quickly for me. Use a background audio cue or a background visual cue to jump over that soft lock pit and then fall down here. And at this point, I'm at the big climb. So there goes most of the stage. Bubbleless is one of the big strats for glitchless in this game. By default, you pretty much always do this stage bubbleless. The fun thing is that I wouldn't even count that as a glitch. Same with the Labyrinth 1 thing, because it's just the way things work in this game. So I'm going to grab this shield here, because this climb is actually one of the harder parts. I was hoping to get bounced to the opposite direction. There are a few places that you can do damage boosts in here, and that is one of them. Okay, I'll play this a little bit safe here. So I'd like to make this up first try. Okay, oh, it didn't give me my ring. That's unfortunate. Alright, I'm gonna have to play this extra safe, but I can make it up still. So here's the end. I'm gonna wait, kind of lodge myself in there, and that is the safe strat to exit. I do not know of any other really safe way to exit that area with 0 rings because of the way the boss bounces you back down. You can't really get bounced to that right platform without being in a place that would hit the spear there. But hey, we made it through, first try. That's what you hope for. This run is going pretty well so far, so I have no idea what's going to happen now. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes you get hit there. I was hoping to go right to that spring, but that's okay. And this area is really laggy as well. Nice, I got the clean kill. That's a little bit faster. So it's hard to modulate your jumps properly. And it takes a lot of practice. There is a possibility that I can get a high route here as well. Oh, did not get the jump. That's fine. Now, let's see if I can lodge myself up here. Excellent. Get a spin dash, get to the end of the level a little bit quicker. You want to be spinning to do that, and then that kind of left-right is a fairly consistent momentum manipulation, but it doesn't quite always work. Then just a couple jumps over here. Spin dash absolutely breaks the crap out of this level. Drop down in front of that guy. Do a spin dash jump to get over there. Now I'm basically at the end of the level. Nice and quick. Alright, I'm going to focus on this jump at the start. That should still work. Yeah, it looks good. So I want to hit that seesaw that I just jumped to in a particular way. The seesaws don't work all that well in this version of the game. They kind of sort of mostly work, but not entirely. So making that big jump over there is by far the most consistent way to do that. Okay, I'm going the top route this time. I basically get that decided by subpixels. And now I'm going to press nothing, and if all goes right, I will sail up there. Nope, that did not happen. Okay. So it's about 90% consistent, I would say. Oh. Okay. That spike ball was still there, even though you couldn't see it. No rings for the boss. Okay, that's fine. That's not at all uncommon. I'll just have to make sure I don't mess things up too badly here. Timing these so that I don't have to deal with the spike ball hitboxes when they're in the boss, if at all possible. Okay. There. Good boss fight. It is very possible to die there with no rings, especially, like I said, when the boss is dropping one of the spike balls, the hitboxes get a little bit wonky, and it's easy to have the game think you're hitting multiple of them at the same time, no matter where you're hitting the boss, and you die. Sometimes you get yeeted off the screen at extreme speed, which is kind of funny, but it's still a death. Now, if you want to think about a zone that is completely destroyed by Spin Dash, I would posit that Scrap Brain is the most destroyed out of all of them. I might be able to get under a 30-second time here if I play well. So far, so good. I'm going to jump here and make it over a nice and annoying section. Another little safety jump there to make sure I make it across this entire gap, since the timing wasn't perfect there, and I might have been somewhere else in the cycle. Cycles, by the way, depend. Some of them are based on camera, some of them are based on when you load into the level, and the ones that are based on when you load into the level are inconsistent. I'm guessing it's because of lag and this game just kind of existing in a constant state of flux. But at any rate, yeah, that is Scrap Brain Act 1 in 29 seconds in game time. Obviously, rather more than that in real time. But such is life. Another thing that I like more in this version is the way the physics on these wheels grab you. I didn't play that very well, so I kind of made it look like I'm a liar, but trust me, it actually is much easier to get grabbed by one of those. There are a couple ways I can get through there. One of those is that damage boost. It all depends on whether or not you hit those little bombs up at the ceiling or if you jump after it. But either way, it's pretty consistent there. A few jumps there to sometimes remove a little lag. The results weren't that great that time, but sometimes you remove a little bit more, so it's worth trying. And sometimes you maintain your momentum through here, like it did here. That is based on the things that should affect your speed when you go through that little tunnel being during lag frames, so they just don't happen. Otherwise, you just spin dash and get to the end anyway. Also, there's no sound here, for no music like there is in the original, no sound for him hitting the switch. Even if you're right up by him, no sound for the switch. Get that ring. I didn't like the lag there, but I could have tried to jump above that platform and below the fire. It's tricky, but it can be done. Now I'm going to ride that platform down to here to get up here. Okay, come on, Brown. Take a little damage boost there and get up to the top nice and quick. Now, it's possible here, if you spin dash too soon after loading in, that the boss won't load, so I wait just a few frames. And now I'm using an audio cue to tell when the boss goes, and I'm going to try to react as best I can and get double hits on as many of these as possible. It's tricky to get double hits on bottom ones, but on top cycles, you can often get a double. There, I got a double there. So I have 3 hits already in 2 cycles. That's a good start. I'm actually on pace for a pretty good marathon run so far, so hopefully I don't die here. There are some nonsense crush deaths that can happen here, one of which is if you stand on a piston when it starts going up. The game just does not handle that properly, and it consistently makes that a crush death. If I'd gotten a spin dash there instead of a jump at the end, I might have gotten another double. Alright, come on. Awesome. That was a really good boss fight, too. Now, a funny thing you can do here is you can keep Eggman from going off the screen here by just kind of staying back. So, at this point, he is not going to quite make it off the screen. And hey, oh, nice finish there with the decibels. This game is rather possessed, so that's fitting. Anyway, I want you to listen to this thing at the very end here. The GBA sound chip, everybody. So, because that was a really solid run and we're a bit ahead of schedule, I have seen the people talking about things. I'm going to do one quick thing to kill just a couple minutes, and that is that I am going to show you one of the special stages and try to beat it. Even the first one, which is theoretically easy, is not necessarily easy because of there's lag in them. The general idea with changing directions with lag is what you'd think it is and fear it is. And put it this way, the jumps that you can get off of non-parallel to the ground, nearly vertical even bits of the level that you can get in the original just don't really work in this version. Also, yes, that's the sound you hear. All right. So, there's a method to this. If you don't follow the method, then you're probably screwed. Gonna hit that once. Hit this once. Fall down in here. Oh, I hit reverse. I did not want to hit reverse there, but that's okay. If I can break my way through here. Hey, I made it. Success. The jank's not done, by the way. 000006980. And then you get the noise again after that. So yeah, that is Sonic 1 GBA. Officially called Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis. I've been running it for a few years now. I made a tutorial, so if it actually interests any of you, it's kind of fun. It's Kuso, but it's fun, and I don't think I'm the only one who appreciates that kind of thing here, so by all means, give it a look. I'd love to have more runners of this game, and with that, I'm going to sign off, and whenever they take me off, thanks for having me.